Herbie Halsey, Westside. First of all, Herbie, it looks like it's going to be a stick up. We're practicing social distancing here, and how tough has it been for you? I know you guys got to wear the mask. All the mask mandates came down here recently. How tough has it been just trying to hold a practice with everybody having to wear masks the whole practice?
It's certainly an adjustment. I guess the biggest thing that we've got to look out for as coaches is to keep a good check on our kids that they don't get overheated or they're not getting oxygenation is the biggest problem, adequate. So that's been our biggest adjustments for those couple of things.
What about speaking of the team? Seems like you got a lot of threats here on offense, and these guys are getting a little bit older. Talk about how explosive your offense can be this year.
Oh gosh, we have the potential. You've got 4-year starter with Daniel Reed with plenty of speed to burn. You've got 2-year starter with Blake Good, 2-year starter with Ethan Blackburn. Any of those kids have got the speed and got the ability that they could take it to the house at any given time.
How will you exploit or how will you use those guys? I mean, it's going to be by the hot hand.
Any way we can get him in space. Any way we can get him in space, get him open field, and make a defense. Try to one-on-one the best we can.
Now, your quarterback by name is a name people would recognize. Jackson Coger, his brother Justin, of course, was the Kennedy Award candidate his senior year, and he's a member of your coaching staff now. Talk about Jackson Coger and what he can give you from a quarterback position.
Well, Jackson, we kind of reminds you a lot of Travis Cook, who was a starter here at Westside when I first came in. He's a big-bodied kid. He's a tough kid. He's got the benefit of all this experience with his brother in his ear and his father in his ear. So that's a big plus. That's a big plus. The kid can throw. He doesn't have the wheels quite as Justin, but where Justin could pop off 15, 20 yards at any given moment, Jackson will probably give you 5-6 yards. Like we said earlier, 5 + 5, 10 first down.
How will that help him being the fact that his brother was a Kennedy Award candidate? Probably should have won it in 14 when he threw for over 2,000, rushed for close to 2,000 as well. How much will that help him having that kind of guy in his ear?
Oh my gosh, it's that type of experience and knowledge is invaluable. Invaluable. If they'll listen, that's a big thing. If any of these kids will listen to what you have to tell them, and if he'll listen to his brother, that experience that Justin has, it will be an invaluable asset to Jackson.
And the coaching staff has changed a little bit this year. You also have a guy with who played in the state championship game.
Right. My offense coordinator, Tyler Dunnigan, he was a all-state lineman at Mann High School. I'm not sure what year it was in, but it was last year they were in the playoffs and went to the finals. I think they were state runners-up that year.
How does it help having a guy like that? And he's also a police officer, which that give it a little bit of respect as well. How much does it help having a younger guy like that on the staff?
It's helped me between Justin and Tyler both. It's been a breath of fresh air to me. I never coached Tyler. I've known him and his family for years. I had the pleasure of coaching Justin back in the day, and it's been a pleasure for me. I'm proud of both of these young men. I guess I'm to the point in my age I can look down and say I'm proud of you, and it means something to them. But I'm proud of both of them, and just their enthusiasm and their desire has instilled a little bit more into me, to where I feel a little bit of that fire back inside of me.
It's funny you say fire. You're a fireman, as everybody knows. Anybody that's followed some of my stories knows that. You have a police officer on your staff as well. So if any break-ins or fires happen up here, you guys
we're in good shape. We're in good shape.
But you've got some professional guys on the staff. How does that help too? Guys that are out in the public eye for not just the football.
Well, I always said that the public servant, unless you are a public servant, people don't know. But it takes a lot to work with public and to live that type of life. And the biggest word in that is being a servant. I've always felt in order to lead, you have to first serve. And if you can do that, then you've got it licked.
I wanted to talk about your line too. I think you've got some guys out there, obviously, who look like they're linemen. You got some bigger guys this year. To have a good line, that usually leads to having a good offense and the ability also to stop other teams in the run game.
Mm-hmm.
In this part of the state, you got to run to win. What about your line, and specifically on that offensive line, but on the defense as well? Some of the guys there.
some of the guys we're looking at for that.
Right.
We've got Brenton Lovins, who has worked very hard in the off season. He's one of the few that doesn't play basketball. Some of these other bigger boys are a part of the basketball team, with Tommy Milam, who's back with us again this year. You also have Mikey Newsom, who's part of the basketball team, and he didn't get much of a chance to lift because of the COVID. Isaac Price, Ben Price is our standout from several years back. Isaac is a second year player for us, second year starter. He worked hard in the off season as well until COVID hit us. And a lot of these boys be with us on defense as well. And Dakota Hurley, who's been with me since his 8th grade year.
Are those guys who would be two-way on?
Most of them are going to probably be two-way, yeah.
Do you expect the defense to be any better this year with the amount of guys you have back?
Of course, you play a heavily underclass defense, and now all of a sudden you're senior heavy with it. You expect them to be better and expect to do better things.
Now, COVID, we were all quarantined for a while, and I guess a guy like you have a studio at your house. Many people may not know you played guitar.
Right.
Did you learn any new songs during the pandemic? I would assume you have a whole catalog now.
I picked up a few Poison songs over the COVID.
What were some of your favorite ones you played over the?
Oh gosh, I really don't do a lot of covers. I just sit in there and just start to record. And my wife a couple of years ago bought me a home studio recorder, and I've sitting there and just wrote a bunch of music over this time when I've had nothing else to do.
Would you like to release something at least locally someday?
No,
You just do it for
fun and relaxation. Yeah.
All right. Hey, Herbie, I always appreciate the time. Thanks.
Appreciate you